36, Joliet 36, Midway 37, O'Hare 36.
We're going to be going on the air in a second.
9:30, and
stand by.
WGNradio.com. I'm Steve Alexander from Chicago's WGN Radio 720.
Are we going to test this at all? We'll see you.
No, we'll test down there.
Goes down, sun comes up. Kids can drown in a plastic cup in this town. In this town.
Hey everybody, it is another edition of ChicagoNow Radio. I'm Bill F. This is week 3. If you're collecting the whole boxed set and you want to put them in the proper order, this will be the good one to put down under week 3. Right out of the box, a pretty interesting clash of ideas here in the studio. First of all, I always go ladies first. It's just the way I was brought up. Barbara Glass, who writes In Fashion. She writes a blog called In Fashion. Barbara, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
And also, Geek to Me is the name of his blog. He's Elliot Serrano. I'm telling you guys, this is something on paper that you go, okay, here's a woman who knows a lot about fashion and a guy who calls himself a geek. What do they have in common? What do you have in common?
That's a good question. I would have to say that one of the things that's happening in fashion for men is the dandy look. And of course, that at one time was considered very geeky. And we know all the geeks like Bill Gates, what happens? They go straight to the top of the class. So.
Who's your classic? When you say the dandy look, I always think of like turn of the century type guys, rich turn of the century type guys, Barbara. Who's a classic? Give me a name or two of somebody who just pulls off that look, with the exception of Bill Gates.
You know, the only one I can think of from Illinois, of course, was a late senator,
Paul
Simon, with the bow tie. And,
how about Orville Redenbacher?
Yeah, I would list him among the geeks, rich geeks, by the way.
Why would a guy turn to that look? If you look at a picture of that type of dress, you say to yourself, oh, that's just not geek. That's ultra, super, uber geek. Why would a guy turn to that kind of a look now?
Well, I think men follow women in terms of fashion. They're a little slower behind the trends, as we know. They move slower, which is great. But one of the things I like about the way women and men dress today is they don't wear it from head to toe. Mm-hmm. Just take an item that you like. If you like tweeds, wear tweeds. If you like a bow tie, go for the bow tie. You know, just take pieces that fit into your lifestyle.
Barbara, I'm always a little suspicious of a guy wearing a bow tie. Should I be? If I see a guy coming at me with a bow tie, I tend to go to the other side of the street.
Well, let's say hopefully he's attracting some women also. So women may have a different point of view on
Supermodels love a guy in a bow tie. That's the one thing they all have in common, the supermodels.
You know, they look sincere. You can trust them. You know, that's a good front.
You describe yourself, Elliot. You are a self-described geek.
A geek I am, yes.
Yes. And that, please tell me that's not your real voice. Oh, what a terrible half hour this is.
Judge me not by my voice, you will.
Is this a look? Is this the new look for geeks? You're dressed very well today.
Thank you. See, I knew I was going to be in a studio with a fashion blogger, and I
stepped it up a little.
I did. I foregoed my Superman pullover hoodie, and
hoodies are in.
Hoodies, yes, hoodies are in. And but Barb, I don't mean to contradict you, but I mean, yeah, you have Bill Gates and Orville Redenbacher. Those are some sort of classic looks, but I don't classify them as geeks or even, they're dorks. I'm sorry.
Tell me the difference between the geek and the dork. This is
the geek and the dork
forever.
Okay,
what do you think?
You ever watch Big Bang Theory?
I've
you ever
seen
see that show? Those guys are not nerds. They're not geeks. They're dorks. They have absolutely no social skills, no sense of anything outside of their own little personal universes.
Yeah.
That's a dork. And the problem, and the thing I always find myself having to combat is this issue that people have this concept of the geek as being a socially inept sort of, they don't know how to talk to women, or female geeks don't know how to talk to men. And while that might be true to a certain extent, everybody has problems dealing with the opposite sex.
Sure.
So, just this thing taken to the extreme, especially in fashion. I wouldn't mind wearing a bow tie. Mind you, I have sat behind the esteemed Paul Simon once.
Not recently.
Not recently,
okay,
no.
good.
Yeah, right.
That'd be ugly.
I did not notice his bow tie. He had these tremendous earlobes.
Yes, he does.
Now that was the thing that I noticed about him. The bow tie he pulled off pretty well.
All right. Now, in a lot of the instances you just mentioned, the geeks of Big Bang Theory or of like a show like Chuck, they tend to still get the beautiful girl. Is that just science fiction, or does that happen sometimes?
It happens all the time.
Really?
Geeks always get the girl, and that's
Oh,
a secret.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful
All the
women
time.
love geeks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Women, I mean, geeks love hot women, HAWT, and women love us. And
Isn't it in the Bible, the geeks shall inherit the earth?
the
Did I
geek,
read
yes,
that right?
the geek, yeah, and that was a mistranslation in the old King's version, King James version. It should be the geek shall inherit the earth.
I
Right.
thought the sheik will inherit the earth.
No,
The
that's
sheik,
no,
no,
that's different.
sorry, no, the sheik will inherit the geek, and then there we go.
Barbara Glass, I have to ask you this. There was a big story this week about two people who decided, they talked it over and they said, you know, there's a big state dinner and you haven't been invited and I haven't been invited, but what the hell? Let's show up anyway and see what happens. They crashed the state dinner. It's been all over the news. You have a very interesting take on that story, though.
Well, I put it on my blog. There's a post, of course, at barbaraglass.blogspot.com or infashion at ChicagoNow.com, of course. The way I see it is, number one, if I were Michelle Obama, I'd be really upset because she had on this drop-dead gorgeous
And no
dress.
one's noticing it.
Right. Nobody's talking about her dress. Nobody's talking about the Indian Prime Minister. What are they talking about? The gate crashers. And who are they? Two more people that want to be on a reality show.
I know.
So they're willing to go to jail for this? Come on. I mean, this is pretty
It's
pathetic.
amazing. Does she have the same person dress her consistently, or does she go to different designers and say, I've got this coming up, what do I wear?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. What we all adore about Michelle Obama, no matter what your political preferences are, she mixes high and low together. She was wearing, earlier in the day, before that state dinner, she was wearing a Rachel Roy skirt, and she's Indian born, by the way, with a J. Crew top and sweater. She loves to mix things up, and I think she shows America that you don't have to spend a fortune on everything to look great. It's how you present yourself.
I think, Barbara, the last first lady that influenced fashion as much as she did is probably Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, right? She was the one who women all over the country would just look at and say, that's what I want to look like.
You are so smart, or you've
Ah.
been reading a lot. I don't know which.
I'm faking you.
Absolutely.
I'm faking you out.
What Jacqueline Kennedy did, which I think Michelle Obama is doing as well, it's not trying to emulate her style. There's only one person. You
Right.
can't copy anybody. But what she's doing is using clothes as a form of communication. The Indian Prime Minister is here. She's wearing something from an Indian designer. You know, it's very smart to think like this and to communicate, as I say, use clothes for. You know, I always used to say what you wear says who you are.
Right. Now, she's done something interesting too, Barbara, in that a lot of the first ladies of the past have dressed themselves in clothes that are really, really expensive and out of the price range of most people. But Michelle Obama's not doing that, is she? She's dressing with things that we can afford pretty much.
Exactly, but sometimes she does things that create controversy as well because, of course, she's a mother. She was on Air Force One, we know, wearing shorts, getting
Right.
off the plane. You know, it was 103 degrees. She was going on a vacation.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was trying to be disrespectful. I think she's just playing the role of a mom, too. That's very important in her life.
It is important. Elliot, back to you for a second. This time of year, it's Christmas time. I have to think that everybody has a geek on their shopping list. So, you know, somebody who might be hard to buy for, easy to buy for. What are the best gifts for the geek on your shopping list this year?
Well, a lot of hot items right now in tech and toys. If you have a geek friend who is really into, let's say, science fiction or Star Wars, Star Trek,
And all geek fans will be into Star Wars and
Star Wars and
That's
Star
a
Trek,
given.
right?
All right. So
Most of them. Most of them.
Get?
Right now, you have quite a few collectible action figures out there on the market, and you can get some really good deals. I know that. Now, first, I'm going to say right now, and call me blasphemous, I will not go into the mosh pit, which is Target on Black Friday. So the majority of my shopping is on the internet.
That's fine.
So a couple great sites to frequent would be entertainmentearth.com, where they have some great deals on action figures. I know you're a big action figure
Huge,
collector.
gigantic.
You can find the Flash Gordon action figure series that was partially designed by a local artist, Alex Ross.
Yeah.
For those who might remember the Flash Gordon series, the Flash Gordon movie from the 1980s.
Yeah.
With
Sam
that
Jones.
Sam Jones and that great Queen soundtrack.
Yeah.
The action figures, the Sam Jones figure, the Timothy Dalton Prince Baron figure, a majority of the line that is pretty hard to find now, $5 a piece
Not
for
bad.
each
And the
figure.
likenesses are dead on. There's
Likenesses
not a lot
are
of
dead on.
motion in them. You want an action figure, usually they can move, but the likenesses are so good, go that way.
Are very good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the one of the hotter things for those who collect action figures, understand that if you get, you're going to find 300 different variations on Luke Skywalker, Ben Kenobi, and so on. Entertainment Earth also has the Stormtrooper Joker Squad, which has the one and the first female Stormtrooper figure in the set.
How about that?
Yes,
I
here
swear,
one for
Barbara,
us.
I
And
was
I'm
just-
sure she's dressed great too.
She couldn't look better.
Bare midriff on a Stormtrooper.
She's wearing
Didn't get it.
Armani, which you don't usually see in a Stormtrooper. I said when both of you came in, I said to Elliot, you and I are probably going to talk a little bit of action figures. And Barbara actually said, I hope you're talking He-Man, because if you're talking He-Man, Masters of the Universe, I'm in. A lot more about fashion and the world of geekdom when we return. This is Chicago Now Radio. I'm Bill Leff. Keep it right here, WGN.
We have a question
That
for
was-
Barbara via Twitter.
That was
Say that again.
We have a question for Barbara
Scary.
via
Oh, okay.
Twitter. What is your favorite place to shop in Chicago?